Today we're going to look at famous Magic the Gathering mythics that are not quite what they used to be. I'm going to start it off with Gideon Jura. The white 3 generic 6 loyalty. Hey, it's big today and it was big back then. And it had the ability +2 during target opponent's next turn. Creatures that player controls attack Gideon Jura if able. So not you, everything has to go to Gideon, and also it goes to 8 loyalty. That is like impossible to kill, and then everything is tapped down. You then go -2 to destroy target tapped creature. That's right. Blow it up on the spot. Oh, by the way, it was also a win condition by itself. Pay a 0 until end of turn. Gideon Jura becomes a 6/6 human soldier creature that's still a planeswalker. Prevent all damage that will be dealt to him this turn, so just attack at free will. It doesn't matter. It's a free roll. Come on, block me, bro. No, you don't want to? Basically can take all damage. I don't even know what happened to this planeswalker. It's like not even very interesting. It was like a key competitive card in like standard. It saw modern play and now it's just gone. And it's like it used to be like $50. Now it's like it's pennies. They also reprinted it a million times. Back in the rise of the Eldrazi days. Yeah, Gideon Jura. Not what it used to be. The OG Jace, however, Jace Bellerin, I believe was it? I think it was just rare. Oh, was it Mythic? Was it Mythic the entire time? Holy crap, this card is absolute stinking garbage. Oh, I thought it was rare. I thought Lorwyn. Okay, do you know what? It was upshifted to Mythic. I'll accept it for the show. The blue 1 generic. 3 loyalty +2, each player draws a card. -1, target player draws a card, which is going to be you. And then -10, which is impossible. Target player puts the top 20 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. Never happening. I believe that this card's greatest tech was at the time you could only have one. There was a time that you could only have one planeswalker of a name on the battlefield at once. So against Jace the Mind Sculptor, which we might as well talk about as well. Jace the Mind Sculptor. How do you beat a Jace the Mind Sculptor? Well, it's a Jace. All you have to do is play the 3-mana Jace, and you kill their Jace. I'm actually, there's 2 rules that got broken. So a long time ago, you couldn't have, like, if I have a Jace, you have a Jace, they neuter each other, but then they changed the rule that, like, okay, you can have a Jace, I can have a Jace, and that doesn't matter. And then they changed another rule that you can have multiple Jaces on the battlefield at once. So they had to change 2 rules to make now Jace completely useless. Completely absolute garbage. I want to do this one. Tommy Sins with Lotus Cobra. Man, this was like such a chase mythic at the time. You could play like a 5-drop on, I think, turn 2? Sorry, no, not turn 2. I guess turn 3. You get Lotus Cobra out turn 2. And you have landfall, so you play a fetch land on turn 3. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you may add a mana. Alright, your 3rd land. Add a mana. Crack that land to get a land. Get another mana. You have 2 floating mana. You have your 3 lands in play. You go play Baneslayer Angel or something. It was absolutely busted. Now nobody cares. It's just a cute snake now. Now we ramp out with soul rings and mana crypts and stuff like that. And in a competitive level, we use like Utopia Sprawler, things that don't die. Lotus Cobra, it's a 1 toughness creature. That snake. A lot of mongooses out there. All right, we got our first super chat. Platonic Liquid, the best of the OG Alara Mythics, Prince of Thralls. What is this? Okay, we got for red, black, blue, 4 generic for a 7/7 demon. Whenever a permanent an opponent controls is put into a graveyard, put that card into play under your control unless that opponent pays 3 life. I honestly don't remember when this card was good, but you look at the price, it's like $10. So someone loved this card. It's for the demon deck, I guess. And you make your opponent sack their stuff. Whenever a permanent opponent controls is put into a graveyard, so you make your opponent sack their stuff, and then it's yours, unless they pay 3 life. Which they're gonna pay like a lot. I'm a little confused when when the tides turned that this card was good and actually became underwhelming. Robert with a super chat. Carnage Tyrant, if I recall correctly, used to be good. Carnage Tyrant. Oh, maybe in Standard. Maybe in Standard at the time, it was like a green for generic 7/6 dinosaur. Can't be countered, trample, hexproof, big beefy creature. Standard is done. Who cares anymore? You know what? It's still pretty high in price. I'm really surprised. It's like a $6 card. There's a lot of mythics like this. They just crash to nothing. Because you know what? People love their hexproof. Don't touch my creatures. Don't you dare. Don't even think about it. Vendilion Click. From Dem. Used to be a prime. Okay, blue, 1 generic, 3/1 fairy wizard. Prime disruption from tempo decks, control decks, everything. It was a great win condition too, because it's a 3/1 flash flyer. But when you're in the battlefield, you look at target player's hand. You may choose a non-land card from it. If you do, the player reveals the chosen card, puts it on the bottom of their library, and then draws a card. So it was amazing versus like control decks to take like their answers out of their hand. It was amazing versus miracle decks, because you could like swipe the miracle card from them. It was amazing versus combo decks. Oh, you have a combo piece? I take your combo piece. Your combo sucks now. You keep digging for your, you know, for the second or third or fourth piece of your combo. And it was a decent beater. But now it has 1 toughness and it can't survive the stupid Bowmaster, Renin 6, Fury, Fire Ice, I don't know, Pyrokinesis metagame. So yeah, not what it used to be. Will Anderson was Sword of Feast and Famine. There's so many of these swords that saw like some play and it's just like they don't see play at all anymore. Alright, 3 mana artifact equipment. I gotta be careful how I blow my nose. I'm in like the stage where if I blow too hard, it's gonna be like a full-on nosebleed of some sort. Okay, equipped creature gets +2/+2 and has protection from black and from green. This was super popular at one time, especially with, you know, at the height of Fatal Push. Whenever a equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, that player discards a card and you can untap all lands. So it's essentially, when you hit the opponent, you get to untap all your lands. You get to basically have 2 turns. That's how it feels like. You know, you're always choked, especially in one of those Golgari-like decks. You're always choked on mana. This could go in any deck, but anyway, very, very, very popular deck. Very, very popular card. That now sees 0 play. It's gone. Just dead. Stone cold useless. Yeah, we might go through all the swords. Sword of War and Peace. Honestly, I don't think this saw play at all. Get +2/+2 as pro red and pro white. Deals combat damage. Sword of War and Peace deals damage to that player equal to the number of cards in their hand, and you gain 1 life for each card in your hand. I don't think this is famous. Actually, is what I should say. I don't think this is a famous card. Alright, next. Pacers, Fan Forever. Bonfire of the Damned. Yeah, what happened to this card? It saw, like, a little bit of play outside of Standard. Like, it was a really good card at the time. You could Miracle it for a ton of damage. So basically, if you Miracle it off the top of your library, you can, like, sync red and X, and it'll deal X damage to target player and each creature they control. It's one-sided! It was insanely busted. Now no one plays this card anymore. It's still good, but no one tries. Yeah, these days it's just a completely forgotten card. Ancestral Vision from Abzo. This saw tons of play. This is a huge card. Target player draws 3 cards. People used to... This used to be the target in the suspend decks. Like it was like the target of targets. So not suspend, cascade. Like now these days you cascade into Crashing Footfalls. You cascade into Living End. Back then you cascaded into Ancestral Vision. That was the way to get it done. You drew 3 cards. How could you lose from there? It was literally Ancestral Recall. Plus you had like a 2/2 body in play at the same time. So anyway, very, very strong card. Now no one wants it. It's like, it's so weird. This card is just obsolete. Just borderline useless. Totally forgotten. Next super chat, we have Blue Bomber, the Baneslayer Angel. Yeah, this is an interesting card. It's a white, 3 generic for a 5/5 Angel. Flying, first strike, lifelink, protection from demons and from the dragons. It was just a simple win condition in like control decks. Like if you need to put like a 4-turn clock that gained you some life, just randomly had protection from like demons and dragons. It got the job done. And now no one can. Like these days, like if you're gonna win, you're gonna win with your planeswalkers. You'll just win with your Teferi, Hero of Dominaria. You'll win with you win with Ren and 6 somehow. I don't know. Basically, there's just so much better creatures. I mean, you'll win with like Solitude, Fury, and so on. The creatures have control decks have so many better creatures to look up to. Baneslayer Angel has been pushed to the side. Only being played by the Angel loyalists. Master of Waves from Slavin. That one, I feel that one. That was a good card, the Merfolk decks. Oh my god, it was so good at the time. Blue 3 generic for a 2. Get this, it's a 2/1 for 4 mana, has protection from red, but that was backbreaking by itself for a lot of decks. But get this, elementals I control get +1/+1, and I get to put a 1/0 blue elemental creature token onto the battlefield equal to my devotion to blue. There was a time, there was like no black removal. There was no collective brutality. There was no bowmasters. There was no, fatal push, or there's like a million cards. Now there's like a million ways to kill this thing, so it's just too vulnerable for 4 mana. But there was a time that this thing was awesome. For 4 mana, die on the spot to anything for 2 or less mana. No, can't have that anymore. Too bad. Space Pirate from space. So actually, that would be good in Merfolk decks, right? It would be, except it just dies too easily. Let's look at Turia's Jace. Vryn's Prodigy. Baby Jace, as they called it. There's many different stages of Jace. There's like Big Jace, there's like Medium Jace, and there's Baby Jace. Jace, Vryn's Prodigy, blue 1 generic 0/2. It was basically Merfolk looter. Tap, draw a card, and then discard a card. If there are 5 or more cards in your graveyard, however, exile Jace, Vryn's Prodigy. Transformed. It became a Planeswalker. It was like a semi-Snapcaster Mage. +1, up to 1 target creature gets -2, -0 until end of turn. -3, you may cast target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard this turn. If that card would be put into your graveyard, which it was there already, exile it instead. And then you -9. The emblem doesn't matter. It was basically half Merfolk Looter, half Snapcaster Mage. I don't know exactly what made this card fade out. I guess just the absurd amount of removal by turn 2. This card used to be like, I don't know, 50 bucks. It was like holding up the entire set. What was this, Magic Origins? That was not a very well... There was not a lot of value in that set. There was a lot of duds. Jace was one of the few things you could actually nail. Oh well. Ooh, Pacers fan forever, the Voice of Resurgence. I like that one. Tommy said he sold at 65, never felt better. I would have felt the same. Originally, this was Mythic. They downshifted it because it's not what it used to be. Okay, it's a white-green 2/2 elemental. Whenever an opponent casts a spell during your turn, or when Voice of Resurgence dies, put a green and white elemental creature token onto the battlefield. This creature's power and toughness are each equal to the number of creatures you control. I can imagine there's like a few reasons this card doesn't see so much play anymore. These days, like, everything is just so much more powerful, but also, like, Dress Down is a card, right? I think Dress Down just kills this thing on the spot. Creatures lose all abilities, and because, like, all of them are XX creatures, they just die. Like, you don't have an ability anymore. Okay, you don't have power and toughness. You're just cooked. Goodbye. Sayonara. Alright, Platonic Liquid. Tybalt. The Fiend-Blooded, what? Okay, I mean, technically, this card is famous for being so bad, it couldn't be good at all. But I would say that it is still not as good as it used to be. Okay, red for a 2 loyalty planeswalker with +1 draw a card. But then you discard a card at random. And then the next ability is -4. How do you even get that far? Tybalt the Fiendblade deals damage equal to the number of cards in target player's hand to that player. I mean, are they even going to have that many cards by that point? Okay, -6. Gain control of all creatures until end of turn. Untap them. They gain haste until end of turn. That's not bad. But I don't know how you get that far. I don't remember this card being good. Hey, it's famous. It's famous for being terrible. But it's equally, it's still bad. That's the difference. Okay. Prime time. Oh, you mean Primeval Titan? This card is still good. Like, this card still sees play in Modern and Legacy. This card is still a good card. It's one of the Mythics that is still as good as it was. Well, I don't know if it's as good as it was before, but it's like still really, really powerful. It's holding like Cloud Post up. It's holding Amulet up. So I don't think that actually is nearly as bad. It's still holding its own. Is what I was trying to say. Titan is better than it was before. Ooh, we have an opinion that it's actually gotten stronger. Okay, King Ginger with Death Mist Raptor. What the hell is that card? This card was never good. What was this? Green, 1 generic, 3/3 Death Touch. Whenever a permanent you control is turned face up, you may return Death Mist Raptor from your graveyard to the battlefield face up or face down. This card was never good. Moving on, we'll look at Morphling. Morphling was rare. The Control Goat, printed Mythic twice. Was it? No, Morphling was printed once. It's a reserve list card. Maybe in online it was Mythic, but like that doesn't count. Unstoppable Rob with Bitter Blossom. Now you're speaking my language, Unstoppable Rob. Black 1 generic. The Tribal Enchantment Fairy. At the beginning of your upkeep, you'll lose 1 life. You hear that, fairy players? They like the damage. They're like, keep bringing the damage until they lose, and then they're like, oh, what have I done with my life? And create a 1/1 Black Fairy Rogue creature token with flying. This is just awful. I will admit that this card looks so much better for Commander because you have 40 life. And hell, losing to your own Bitter Blossom in Commander sounds so much less likely. But in a 20 life game, this is awful. It was really good in Standard. I think it had some playability in Extended. But outside of that, it's like, the format's got too powerful. You're literally putting a 1/1 in play, and you do nothing on turn 2. Taking turn 2 off to play this? No good. And that's why it is now... Anyway, I think it's unplayable, but according to the price charts, according to the price of this card, a lot of people think it is very playable. It has been reprinted so many times. It's just unbelievable. Brett! Chandra. The Pyrogenesis. It's even Mythic? Can't even tell. Yeah, it's a Mythic rare. Alright, we got a red 4 generic for a 5 loyalty Chandra. Deals 2 damage to each opponent. +2. The -3, however, deals 4 damage to target creature. And then -10, Chandra deals 6 damage to target player and each creature he or she controls. I don't remember this card ever being good, though, to be honest. When did anyone play this card? Isn't there like a strictly better Chandra than this? There's like a 6-mana Chandra. Hold on, there's a 6-mana Chandra. Let's go get the Chandra. It's like, it hits all the elementals. But I don't remember what it is. And that card did see a lot of play. And it doesn't see play anymore. Not Torch of Defiance. Although I could say Torch of Defiance isn't what it used to be either. What's the one, it hits, deal, oh, here it is. I think it's Awakened Inferno. Okay, now this card saw a good chunk of play. I don't know, maybe it still does. I just don't see it anymore. It's a red, 4 generic, 6 loyalty. Can't be countered! Just in case you hate them counterspell people. Then it'll go +2. Each opponent gets an emblem. At the beginning of your upkeep, this emblem deals 1 damage to you. That accumulates. And then -3, Chandra deals 3 damage to each non-elemental creature. And then -X, it deals X damage to target creature or planeswalker. If a permanent dealt damage this way would die, it gets exiled instead. Why is she always so angry? You know, that's just the life of the red player. Just raging. Rage quit. Rage this. Rage that. Could someone get Nikachu a healing salve? Yes, please. I'll take it. I'll take whatever I can get. Okay, next super chat from King Ginger. As foretold. Ooh, that was a big one. That was a hyped card. A blue 2 generic for, at the beginning of your upkeep, put a time counter on As Foretold. Once each turn, you can pay 0 rather than pay the mana cost for a spell you cast with mana value X or less, where X is the number of time counters on As Foretold. So you've got 1 time counter on it, you can play your 1 mana spells for free. You got 2 time counters on it, you can play your 2 mana spells for free. It was also a way of playing with cascades, suspend cards. Like you could, not suspend. Yeah, certain suspend cards like Living End, Ancestral Vision, things with 0 mana cost. Because you could just play As Foretold and then boom, play your Ancestral Vision. Let's get Ancestral Vision. Because it has 0. Okay, this has 0. This has 0 mana value. You get to draw 3 cards. This card, but the whole synergy didn't work. It was too clunky. Yeah, it was just an absolute failure. War and Instigator. I think this card always sucked. It's a red 1/1 with double strike. Like, if you have no removal, no one can deal with it. I think it's a bit hyped for the Goblin players. I mean, you know, okay, the Goblin players are probably... They got also nice picture, Goblin players. So when it deals damage to an opponent, you may put a Goblin creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. It has double strike, so you can put 2 things on the battlefield if there's nothing directly in front of it. Anyway, it was... Well, whatever. There was probably a slight moment where War and Instigator was fine for the Goblin players, but now the Goblin players have like way better cards to play with. War of... wait, I just did this one. I have super chats. Let's look at the super chats. Okay, we've Omniscience was obsolete due to treasure tokens. Omniscience. This card still sees a lot of play in Legacy. It's a Legacy staple. Blue, 7 generic. You may cast spells from your hand without paying the mana costs. So if you just cheat this thing and play, you can play whatever. Maybe in Commander this is a lot worse. Due to the treasure tokens. Treasure tokens is just artificial omniscience. Could be true. Could be true. Yo Little Ted, Avenger of Zendikar. I thought this card was banned in Commander. Okay, green, 5 generic, 5/5. So why is this card does not see so much play? I think you're right. Is it just the power creep of Commander? When Avenger of Zendikar enters the battlefield, create a 0/1 plant creature token for each land you control. And landfall, whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you may put a +1/+1 counter on each plant creature you control. It's printed to death. Like, literally to death. It's been printed a bazillion times. No, it's not banned. I thought something similar to this was banned. I must be thinking of something else. It's still really good. Alright, moving on, we'll go with Tommy Siddons. True Name Nemesis was so in demand they added an extra copy of Commander Precon in all the cases for the stores. True Name... Was this, I think they did upshift it to Mythic. Blue, 1 generic, 3/1. As True Name Nemesis enters the battlefield, choose a player. True Name Nemesis has protection from the chosen player. The problem with True Name Nemesis, it dies to everything. Okay, everything is a bit of an exaggeration, but there's too many ways to kill it. Like, you can, like, dress down and it no longer has its abilities. You can just block it or blow it up. You can, like, what's it called? So dress down is a big one, but then you could always edict. You could rat the board. Like, it really never was indestructible. And now at this point where dress down is a really popular card, this card is just garbage. Thinking of Primeval Titan? I am not thinking of Primeval Titan. I'm thinking of some other green absurd card that costs a lot and is banned. There is some other green card. I swear. There's another green card. Okay, well, look. The Soul of Rusty with the Soul of Ravnica. What? Blue, 4 generic, 6/6 flyer. Okay, you can pay 7 mana, draw a card for each color among permanents you control. That card was terrible. Pay 7 mana, exile Soul of Ravnica from your graveyard. Draw a card for each color among permanents you control. This card never was good. That was never. Okay, hold on. I'll go to a super chat. We'll go with Mulk. Nexus of Fate. Nexus of Fate. Blue, 5 generic instant. Take an extra turn after this one. If Nexus of Fate would be put in a graveyard from anywhere, reveal Nexus of Fate and shuffle into its owner's library instead. Well, one problem with this card is that it's banned everywhere. Banned in Pioneer, banned in Explorer, banned in Historic. Still legal in Modern though. It's a weird one. Yeah, it's a weird one. So like, if the power level of format is low enough, it's busted. But then if it's high enough, it's like, it's 7 mana. Who cares? It's a little too clunky. A little too much of a clunker out there. Not what it used to be. Ball Lightning was rare. Did they ever make Ball Lightning Mythic? I don't think so. Ricardo with Willeth Soul of Steel. Are you people just naming a bunch of mythics? Like, look at this card. It's like, oh, I can't even show you the price. The price is 60. You just have to believe me. It's 61 cents. Trample. It's a 2/2 trampler. When it attacks, draw a card for each aura and equipment attached to it. Oh, that's actually interesting. It's a super build-around card. So what's the problem with it now? Okay, Termus suggesting some very serious cards. Liliana of the Veil. This card is they just printed this card into Pioneer and it's unplayable. Just absolute straight trash. Black, 1 generic, 3 loyalty. +1, each player discards a card. -2, target player sacks a creature. And then -6, separate all permanents target player controls into 2 piles. That player sacks all permanents in the pile of their choice. It used to be like a $100 card. Still is for a few versions. I guess the ultimate box topper is still over $100. This had the weirdest price memory, as if Liliana of the Veil was coming back. I knew that once that card started getting worse, it was just gone. Lily is busted in Standard. You should have seen Liliana in the other Standard when it first got printed. I'm sure it's good in Standard, but believe me, outside of Standard, this card is stone cold garbage. Alright, you heard the music. We're gonna look at more mythics that are now or not what they used to be, or unplayable. We gotta thank our sponsor today, FusionGamingOnline.com. Deal of the week this week, save 15% off all Secret Lair box sets. So if you wanted that special Secret Lair with that special artwork you were looking for, you can get it at FusionGamingOnline.com. Also, you can pre-order Wilds of Eldraine singles and sealed product. You could also do that there. Do you like buying Magic cards? You want to support the channel? Well, you're going to buy from FusionGamingOnline.com. That's how it works around here. And don't forget to use coupon code Nikachu at checkout to get 5% off all your purchases. We're also going to thank Mana Traders, the premier place for renting Magic cards online to be able to play any format, any deck, anytime you want. Any time of the month. And you can also support the channel using my Mana Traders link in the description below, or save 10% off your first 2 months using coupon code Nikachu_N9M. Now back to horribly aged mythics. Liko! Hey, Nikachu, I usually am never able to catch the stream live. Thanks for the content. You're welcome. All the Titan. Let's look at Sun. You gotta be more specific, but we can go to Sun Titan. That's another one. Okay. No, not all the Titan. Look, Primeval Titan is still prime. Like, that is still like a tier 1 deck. What is wrong with you people? Do you not know that like, hey, it might be banned in Commander, but it's still damn good in Modern and Legacy, damn it. Okay, Sun Titan, white, 4 generic for a 6/6 Vigilance. Enters the battlefield or attacks. You may return target permanent card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. There are some combo decks with this thing, where you like, or like some massive value engines, where like you bring back a creature and has an ETB to get something else, and then you get like a bunch of value. Anyway, Sun Titan costs 6 mana, so that's the bar. The bar is too high these days. No, we're still, I move between super chats and real chats. You're still actually low on the list. We're going to go to Dizzy Blizzy. Just so that it's not complete pay to win. Only 1 versus 1 format I know is Pauper, so donate to chat. All right, Dizzy Blizzy donating. Donating to, let's see. Ooh, I like this one, Progenitus. That was like the win condition. This is like the ultimate mythic that's turned to trash. This used to be like the card. Like 10/10 creature, double Wooburg, pro everything. If Progenitus would be put into a graveyard from anywhere, reveal Progenitus and shuffle it back into its owner's library instead. It had this clause so you can't reanimate it. It's such crap. Like, even by today's standards, this card isn't even good. I don't think this card is good. Like, I don't know if it's that much better than... I don't think it's better than Merit Lage. Like, it's... If you somehow get on the battlefield, you have, like, 2 whole turns just to do something. Some card got banned in Modern that killed it. I don't think so. I don't think so. Like, this card is just... Like, if you're gonna reanimate something or show and tell something and play, or like you're gonna play with Archon of Cruelty or something, you know? Like, this is not like Archon of Cruelty is like the card because it like puts a beating on your life total. You draw cards, you make your opponent lose cards. This card is like, okay, I'm a 10/10. Look at me, I'm a 10/10, and you can't do anything about me except you can still like board wipe me away. I don't know the concept of this chapter. Progenitus still pitches to Nourishing Shoal. It pitches to everything. Fury, Solitude, Grief. You could play the full Elemental deck and have Progenitus in it for that reason. Hey, Christopher B with Tezzeret the Seeker? Still good in Cube. Yeah, like, is this card any good at all outside of Cube? Blue, 3 generic for a 4 loyalty Tezzeret. +1 untap. And like, it's the abilities are good. Like, you untap 2 artifacts. You can pay X to tutor. And tutor for an artifact X or less. And then -5 all artifacts you control become artifact creatures with base power and toughness 5/5. I love drafting this in Cube. But I'll admit that outside of Cube, like, I don't know where this card has any play. Plague Progenitus as pitch fodder. That's the future. As your future, Progenitus, you have no purpose except to be pitched. Mind's Dilation by King Ginger. Dilation? Never heard of this card. Blue, 5 generic enchantment. Whenever an opponent casts his or her first spell each turn, that player exiles the top card of his or her library. If it's an online card, you may cast it without paying its mana cost. Where the hell does this see play? I never heard of this card until now, but it's not worthless, so someone's playing it. Whenever an opponent casts his or her first spell each turn, that player exiles. So this must be like an amazing, this has to be some commander card to mess with your opponent's deck. Like, you basically play their spells, right? So they play a spell, that player exiles the top card of their library. If it's not land, you may you get it. So make sure you stack your deck correctly. Make sure there's a land on top of there. It gets niche play in Commander. I imagine so. It looks like it's like so expensive though. Oh well. Arclight Phoenix. Hey, let's not rag on Arclight Phoenix. It's waiting. It's like hiding in the shadows. It's gonna be back. I promise you, it's gonna be back. Actually, it still sees some play in Pioneer. Red 3 generic for a 3/2 flying haste creature. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you cast 3 or more instants and sorcery spells this turn, return Arclight Phoenix from your graveyard back to the battlefield. So you just rattle off, so you like lose all your Arclight Phoenixes, you dump them all in the graveyard, you rattle off a bunch of rituals and spells, and boom, your Arclight Phoenixes are back. You go, caw! Attack in the air. And your opponent be dead. And even if you deal with Arclight Phoenix, they can come back, damn it. They keep coming back. Right now, it's sleeping. It's sleeping hard. We don't have a good Arclight Phoenix deck, but it will be back. It'll be back one day. Just needs the right home. Frank, Theros Gods. We could go, yeah, we could go a few of them. How about Thassa? God of the Sea. Like, that was like a big one in Standard at the time. I know, because I was there. I was there playing Standard. Blue 2 generic for a 5/5. Indestructible. As long as your devotion to blue is less than 5, it isn't a creature. Beaver upkeep, scry 1, and also for 2 mana, a creature you control can't be blocked this turn. It was like on curve, you could attack for 5 by turn 4. It was beautiful. Yeah, unplayable now. Completely unplayable. The scry 1 doesn't mean squat. I actually had, this was my commander for the longest time, but I had to switch my commander to Svelun, because Svelun, drawing a card is better than scrying a card. Svelun for the win. Captain Carlos! There are no mythic rares when I was playing MTG regularly, so I'm just doing the super chat to show support. Good morning, Nikachu. Good morning, Captain. The Captain is in the house. All right, so we're going to donate to Human Urinal. That is disgusting. Vengevine. That's another... This card is also sleeping, all right? It's going to awake. Like, yeah, there's no home for these cards right now because they, you know, all the cards that it was good for, they got banned. But it will be back. It will be back. This is a 4 mana 4/3 with haste. Whenever you cast a spell, if it's the second creature spell you've cast this turn, you may return Vengevine from your graveyard to the battlefield. Maybe they should make some Vengevine Arclight Phoenix deck. Hold on, is there any... It says any spells, right? If you cast 3 or more instant... Oh no, it has to be instant or sorceries. That's impossible. This one looks at creatures. So Arclight Phoenix was like... Why did they make Arclight Phoenix? It was literally the spell-based version of Vengevine. Well, what a bunch of nonsense. The Snapcaster Mage been said? I think it's been said a billion times. So we'll look at it. We'll look at it. Frownton. Snapcaster Mage. Yeah, 2 mana, 2/1 flash. Gives your... when it enters the battlefield, you could get a instant or sorcery in your graveyard has flashback. It's just unplayable now because the elementals. The elementals are just better. It's now the spells aren't spells anymore. Now the creatures are the spells. Technically everything is a spell, but you know, we don't play with instants and sorceries to answer our opponent's stuff. Now we play with like solitudes and furies, griefs, subtleties, endurances. That's just how it is now. You should run Emperor Mihail 2 as your commander. I should actually try that. It's not a bad idea. Rough. Vengevine is still sick in the vintage. Oh yeah, that's true. Still lives on there. This is tier 1 in vintage. It is actually tier 0. Tier 0 in vintage. You gotta have your Tabernacles of Pendrell Vale to deal with these stupid decks. MTG is becoming whose line is it anyway? Oh well. The elementals refers to the... Yeah, we're talking about the evoke elementals. Those are the boogeyman elementals. Ooh. Yeah, ever since then, you don't play with instants and sorceries in your deck. You just play with creatures. Just tons of creatures. Geist of Saint... That's a great one. Geist of Saint Traft. Okay, we got blue, white, 1 generic for a 2/2 hexproof. I still think this thing is playable. Like, I don't know why no one tries to play this card. Whenever it attacks, you create a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying that's tapped and attacking. Exile that token at end of combat. Like, everyone hates their stuff dying. Geist literally says, okay, I'm not gonna die. I got hexproof. And, like, now more than ever, we have stuff that's sniping things down. And it's got, in some way it has evasion. I don't know, maybe, like, the problem is, like, you'll attack this 2/2 into a 3/3 double striker too often. Hey, Josh! Sarah Avatar. Alright, we got white, 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 4 generic for a star Avatar. Sarah Avatar's power and toughness are each equal to your life total. When Sarah Avatar is put into a graveyard from anywhere, shuffle it into its owner's library. I have no experience with this card. Sarah isn't dead, she lives on through me. Oh yeah, we did Liliana already. Easily. Commander players, was this ever good? I guess if you could, like, show and tell this thing into play, like, very early with a total life total of, like, 40, I guess this could be, like, very fearful. Sarah Avatar, oh, I got 40 life. It's a 40/40. Who wants to die in one shot? Oh, so it's a beginner's trap? Lucy says, I see this card every time I play with someone brand new. It looks good on paper. Like, yeah, this is one of those level 0 cards where it looks really good on paper, but then you start playing with it and you realize, oh, 7 mana is a lot of mana. And by the time I've cast it, I don't even have 40 life anymore. It's hilarious in certain decks in EDH. Okay. That's funny. I used it like once in Heliod Sun Crowned, really? Alright, Mark Zilla with All-Seeing Arbiter. Oh, come on, like, was this did not ever see play. I'm not even gonna read this card. Okay, OG Shield Dread. I don't even know what the OG Shield Dread was. Oh, this one, right? The Whispering one. Black, 5 generic, 6/6 Praetor, Swamp Walk. At the beginning of your upkeep, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, that player stacks a creature. I think, yeah, this was like one of those like cool mythics at the time. And then over time, it just got like pushed out by just better cards. One of the few upkeep reanimate triggers. One of the very fewest. You get something back from your graveyard, and they sack something into the graveyard. Upkeep triggers nowadays are just too risky to rely on. Yeah, like the other, yeah, it's I was just saying this card just been pushed out by better cards, like the newer Shield Dread. The newer Shield Dread has pushed this card out. Very funny. Garrett! Vendilion Click. Oh, we did Vendilion Click already. A long time ago. Okay, so we're gonna donate your super chat to the crowd. Ooh, I like this one from Tavishel, Hunt Master of the Fells. Yeah, this card was like prime in both standard and modern. So it's a red. It's got so many words on it too. So for Gruul 2 generic, we have a 2/2. When it enters the battlefield, you get a 2/2 wolf, and you gain 2 life. Then at the beginning of your upkeep, if no spells were cast last turn, transform Hunt Master of the Fells. That's how Day and Night should work. They screwed up the Day and Night garbage. Okay, it turned into Ravager of the Fells, and it's a 4/4 Trampler. When it transforms, it deals 2 damage to target opponent and 2 damage to up to 1 target creature that player controls, which was just backbreaking. And then at the beginning of your upkeep, if a player casts 2 or more spells, you then transform back to Huntmaster of the Fells, and you gain 2 life and get 2 more. Get another 2/2 Wolfie. So actually, it was just incredible value. How's the cold? It sucks. It absolutely sucks. Thought I'd get a lot better by today, and I have not. Most of them. What does that mean by most of them? Okay, Abjo's trying to get, like, Avatar Woe in here. I don't remember what this card did. It wasn't even a mythic! This doesn't even count. Was it ever mythic? Maybe in one set. Conspiracy take the crown? I'm not gonna count this. This is ridiculous. We already did Brazen... Oh, no, we didn't do... Okay, we'll do Brazen Borrower. We didn't do Brazen Bar. This is an amazing card that's completely pushed out by like all this 1 damage ping and crap. 3 mana, 3/1 with flash flying. Can only block creatures with flying, but it could bounce stuff. For a blue 1 generic, it had an instant adventure. Return target non-land permanent opponent controls back to their hand. And you got that 3/1 flyer on top of it. It was a great card. Well, good where? I don't see it being good. Brazen Bar was everywhere. And now it's nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. Alright, next super chat. We got King Ginger. Demon of Death's Gates. What the hell? Okay, black, 6 generic for a 9/9 demon. You may pay 6 life and sacrifice 3 black creatures rather than pay Demon of Death's Gates mana cost. It's got flying and trample. Whoa! So for the low cost of sacking like 3 random creatures, and also 3 random creatures and 6 life, you get a 9/9 flying trampling demon. I'm gonna have to take your word for it that this card was a good card at the time. I don't why if this card was good back then, why isn't it still good now? Ugh. My nose is on fire. But so is the coffee crew. Alright, we got Mulk. A Johnny Vengeant. Them boys. Oh! This card used to be great. It was like a constant lightning helix, wasn't it? It was like white, red, 2 generic for a 3 loyalty of Johnny. Target permanent. So you go +1. Target permanent doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. You could hit the lands. You could hit their creature. It was great at protecting itself. And then you go -2. A Johnny Vengeant deals 3 damage to target creature or player, and you gain 3 life. That was like a bomb ability. And then -7, destroy all lands target player controls. That happened every so. It wasn't often, but it did happen. It did happen. Okay, let's go to... I think Tarmogoyf and Dark... Okay, they did get upshifted. Let's look at Dark Confidant. They're both actually underwhelming. Yeah, this is the Jun team. You know what? You heard of the A team? The Jun team. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, I don't remember the A team intro music. 2 mana, 2/1. At the beginning of your upkeep, you reveal the top card. You lose life equal to its mana cost. You put it into your hand. Now, like, 1 toughness creature just can't survive today, like, at all. And then Tarmogoyf, I think, just got... It also died to Dress Down. If it wasn't for Dress Down, this card probably would see a lot more play. But also for 2 mana, it's a pretty underwhelming as well. Anyway, okay, the Hazoret the Fervent from Garrett, who got sniped earlier. Actually, I think you self-sniped yourself. You didn't know. Hazoret the Fervent. The red 3 generic 5/4 indestructible haste creature. Can't stack or block unless you have 1 or fewer cards in hand. You also pay 3 mana, discard a card. It deals 2 damage to each opponent. I think this was just a curse of just being incredibly good in Standard and then being underwhelming everywhere else. I thought it could see modern play, though, especially in the right type of, I don't know, mid-rangey burn deck. In my opinion. Because, like, the card is still, like, it turns, like, anything into a shock. Which is not bad. Like, how you can go wrong with that? It turns your lands into shocks. And it's a 5/4 indestructible creature. Which, by all means, by today is, like, still pretty good. The invocation version of it looks like it says Hazoret the Pervert. Yes. Hazoret the Pervert. Probably is. Oh, did they fix this thing? Remastered? No, this is the same thing. Can X1s make a comeback if more are printed with hexproof indestructible? Yeah! Yeah, if they make it, I mean, hey, you make anything indestructible, yeah, they absolutely can make a comeback. Remember how hyped people were for a Johnny Sleeper agent? Never seen it played. The Johnny Sleeper agent. I think that's for another show. Mythics that never got off the ground. Mythics that never saw play. That's a good show idea. Thank you very much. We'll do that one next week. Johnny Sleep. I'm not going to read this thing. Wish Ugin wasn't banned. Yeah, that's a card that doesn't see play anymore, but for the wrong reasons. Pacers fan forever. With Thundermaw Hellkite. Red 3 generic 5/5. It was like the dragon of dragons. Flying haste. I still think it's one of the better dragons in the game. Enters the battlefield. It deals 1 damage to each creature with flying your opponent's control. Tap those creatures. So like, slam it on each creature. Oh, only with the flyers though. That's weird. Deals 1 damage to each creature with flying. It's like anti-lingering souls hate. But the deal is, it enters the battlefield, nothing's going to block it. You swing in for a clean 5 damage. It also killed all the 1 toughness creatures. So it worked super well. Sebastian says, Bladewing the Risen was supposed to be played in conjunction with OG Bladewing, but failed successfully. Today we're talking about mythics that saw play, not mythics that did not see play. We'll have another show for mythics that did not see play and still don't see play. Torrential Gear Hulk. Not a bad idea. Torrential Gear Hulk. This is another one of those like Oh no, was this mythic? Oh, it was. Yeah. It was like, wasn't that supposed to be like a bomb card in what was that format called? It was like before they made Pioneer, they made another, like there was a fan-made format. But I don't remember what it was called though. And like people were buying up this card big time because it was like the Snapcaster Mage of Snapcaster Mages. That's right, Frontier. This was a prime card in Frontier. Does anyone remember what Frontier was like? Yeah, so blue, 4 generic for a 5/6 flash. Enters the battlefield, you may cast target instant card from your graveyard without paying its mana cost. If the card we put into your graveyard this turn, exile it instead. Yeah, not good. Not anymore, at least. Frontier is popular in Japan. Yeah, had a little traction here. I saw some Frontier events. Did I see some Frontier events happen here in Canada? I don't know. Too long ago. Brett Sorin, Lord of Innistrad. Ah, yes. The card was super hot. Now he is super not. Black, white, 2 generic, 3 loyalty for a Sorin. Is there a better version of this that we can look at? Yeah, there we go. We'll look at this one. There's just better Sorins out there these days. +1, you get a 1/1 vampire with lifelink. Oh, whoop-de-doo. -2, we get an emblem with creatures you control get +1/+0, which is not bad. But I don't know if I want to spend 4 mana and let this thing die for that. And then -6, destroy up to 3 target creatures and or planeswalkers. Return each card put into a graveyard this way to the battlefield under your control. I think there's just way better Sorins these days. We already did Arclight Phoenix. We didn't do Phyrexian Negator, but I don't think... Does that count? When did they make it Mythic? What, for like just the dual deck promo? Well, I guess so. Phyrexian Negator, 3 mana, 5/5 trample. Whenever it's dealt damage, sacrifice that many permanents. And you would think, like, oh, my opponent has to sack that many permanents. No, you do! You are the controller of the Phyrexian Negator. You lose all that stuff. Anyway, it was once good at a time where if you knew you were up against, like, it was great versus combo decks and control decks that couldn't deal any damage to. So you just ritual this thing out. You have a 5/5 creature could deal a super good clock. But if you're up against any deck that could damage you, you're screwed. Phyrexian Negator was not good. I'm sad. Phyrexian Negator is not a crocodile type. I don't really see the crocodile in him. It's not very crocodile-like to me. Yeah, Phyrexian Obliterator at home. And it's so much worse. It's significantly worse. It's not even close. Okay, Dr. Magulus with Anafenza the Foremost. Zero play pass stand. No, that's not. I don't think that's true. Hold on, Anafenza the Foremost. That's actually not true. It saw some play in Modern for a little while, and then it disappeared. So it's a green, black, white for a 4/4. Whenever it attacks, you put a +1/+1 counter on another target tapped creature you control. If a creature card would be put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead. Like this is a pretty good card. And I don't know, I guess it's just too low on power level these days. But it's like it's like a Leyline of the Void. I guess these days people would just play, what's it called? The black 3/2 shadow creature. That's literally Leyline of the Void, because this is Leyline of the Void only for creatures. Which is good. I think it's strong. And also, you know, it's a pretty beefy creature by itself, but and maybe it can go into a human deck, but yeah, it used to see a lot of play. It did see some play outside of Standard, a little bit, and then it just disappeared out of nowhere. Sphinx of the Steel Wind by the Is. Sphinx. I only see this card I only see this card in Cube. Yeah, I was thinking of Dothy Voidwalker for this last card. Like, this if you want an effect like this, you go with Dothy Voidwalker. Okay, Sphinx is Steel Wind. I think this card still sees some vintage play, but for like only one reason. Oh, just that commander plays. Is Consecrated Sphinx what it used to be, or is it crap now? Let's go get Consecrated Sphinx. Consecrated. Or does it depend on the play group? I mean, this card is like a house to me. Like, I always feel amazing when I play a Consecrated Sphinx. I know it's not a competitive card, but I play in a group that doesn't kill me instantly, so I think this card is amazing. It's a blue, 4 generic, 4/6 flyer. If the opponent draws a card, I draw 2! King Ginger says, the card is still broken. Depends on the play group. Constipated Sphinx. Hydroid Krasis? Well, if you play Hydroid Krasis, I'm going to draw like 1 billion cards off of my Consecrated Sphinx. 1 million cards! I'll draw my whole deck if I need to. People avoid playing it because it's so unfair. Well, that can't be the total reason. Like, I could see, like, there's a lot of cards now that make this a problem. Like, Bowmaster, Hull Breacher. No, Hull Breacher's banned. Hull Breacher's banned. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, Consecrated Sphinx is still strong. All right, I'm going to trust you guys. Sphinx is still strong. It still is what it used to be. I believe it. All right. That's going to be it for Coffee and MTG today. Thank you very much for showing up along with me at 11 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time every Monday to Friday. We've got to thank also everyone who supports the show. If you're a member on YouTube, you're a patron on Patreon, or you super chat to be part of the show, I really appreciate you. And we also got to thank everyone who shows up in the morning. People like Jess, Mark Zilla, Steve Cooper, Christopher B, Nicholas, Abzo, I already said Jess, Frank, Roaring Metalman, Space Pirates from Space. It's a bit of a tongue twister of a name. Mr. Deadhead, Termis, King Ginger, Frank Slavin, Platonic Liquid, The Bear. Because without all you guys, I'd have no show. So thank you very much for making Coffee and MTG what it is. For not only yourselves, but for everyone else who watches. So keep brewing up your coffees, Coffee Crew, and we'll keep brewing up the magic. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you at the next cup.